So good morning, students, and today I am going to take another topic is mycoplasma. Okay, so it is also under the classification of the bacteria only. So first we'll be dealing. So what is mean by mycoplasma? Okay, so it is the mycoplasma is a free living microorganisms. Okay, and it is also a unique characteristics the mycoplasm is having, and it is a different kind of structure, and we can't able to differentiate with the other microorganisms. And it is also a prokaryotic. Okay, prokaryotic cell, nothing else but, so it has a unique structure, and it is a unicellular organism. Okay, so unicellular means what? Only one structural formation of the cell is going to be formed, and it does not have a cell wall over there on the mycoplasm. Okay, so and this mycoplasm is often poorly understood and misdiagnosed. So what they are saying that whenever we are dealing with the mycoplasm, and due to the insufficiency of the cell wall process, and we are confused with the structure to diagnose which kind of the condition it is. Okay, and so next we'll do, and this mycoplasm is also mainly, you can see that spreading in the disease condition of cold areas. Okay, and first it is going to be affected through the respiratory tracts and through the droplet or the coughing or the sneezing, and it is going to be spread to the other persons. Okay, and it is a prolonged cause contact with the infected person. Okay, so infection may be differ from age differs also, and who have a low immunity levels. So it was introduced by the, okay, so Edward Knockert and the Emil Rocks. Okay, so these two has been introduced the cause in the year of 1898. Okay, and so the name mycoplasma, it was derived from Greek word, so that is mycis means fungus and the plasma means which was formed. Okay, and so this name has been derived as a mycoplasma. So in the year, and they have derived the name in the 1950s. Okay, and they have differentiated, and the causative organisms also refer for this, that is pleuropneumonia like organism or contagious bovine pleura pneumonia. So they have differentiated the causative microorganism. Okay, so these are the two causative agents. Okay, and so what is the characteristics the mycoplasm is having? Already we discussed that it is a prokaryotic microbes, means unicellular organisms, and the size of this mycoplasm is a 150 to 250 nanometers in size, and you will not have the cell wall, and sterol containing. So sterol containing means what? It contains of the alcoholic, means steroidic alcohol around the membrane. Okay, and fastidious growth requires, means the growth of the mycoplasm is too fast, and whenever you are seeing in the colons and the agar medium structure, and agar medium means what? In the culture process, and they are adding some of the nutrient substances, so that is called as a agar medium. Okay, and in that so the structure looks like a fried egg like, or the mulberries will be there, right? So in these two structure like, and this microorganism is going to be visualized in the agar medium. And next one is what is the specific characteristics of the mycoplasm? So specific characteristics of mycoplasm means it is denoted as a, so molecules. Okay, so it is a specimen of what? Molecules, and it is a lack of, already we discussed, and same thing they are explaining. Specific characters means in depth. Okay, and the bacteria cell wall is lacking, and osmotic fragility means, so what is going to be the easy fragility over this will be there in colonic shape, and filterability through, so 450 nanometers pores you can see, and diameter membrane filtrations. So means it can easily absorb, and it can easily lives in any area of the aerobic or anaerobic process. So culturing, so in culturing mycoplasm, so whenever you are doing a culture, and where how you have to do the culture process of mycoplasm in liquid and solid medium only, you have to do this type of culturing process. Okay, and how much of growth we need means 35 to 37 degrees centigrade of growth is very very important. And also, and whenever you are taking a serum, and they have done the culturing in a horse and a human serum they have taken for the test, and in order to see 20% they will take a horse and a human serum only for the growth of micro organisms. Okay, so already as I explained, the colonies will be look like what, fried egg structure or the mulberry structure it looks like whenever you are doing this mycoplasm culturing. Okay, so what are the types of species they have done means, so scientists have isolated at least 17 species for the mycoplasm for human bodies. Okay, and the four types of organisms are responsible for the more clinical significant of infection, that is, so 17 species they have characterized, but only they have differentiated only four types. So what are that, we'll see now. So that are Mycoplasma pneumoniae, Mycoplasma hominis, and Mycoplasma genitalium, and the Ureaplasma species. Okay, so these are the four major types they have been differentiated. So but how many they have been established? The 17. Yes, so 17 species of mycoplasm from human they have been differentiated. Okay, so the cell wall, so how the cell wall will, already we have said that, so lacking of cell wall structure is going to be there. Okay, so how it looks like means, see here, and where the cell wall will there means, and the wall area will be rigid will be there, but here, so in the atypical pneumonia, so or the mycoplasmic pneumonia, so the cross sectional picture and it looks like that. Okay, and whenever you are differentiating the bacteria of the cell wall, right, so we have differentiate, and this cell wall is less centimeter. Okay, and infection. Okay, so here the infection is not meant for only particular age group or particular people, so everybody the worldwide, and it is going to be affected. Okay, so you may see that, and you will see here that, and the people who are having a less immunity levels only they can have more prone to get, and the transmission of infection by the droplet infection and from the nasopharynx secretions. Okay, naso means what, and through nose, or the from the droplet infection by the mouth, and you are going to get the infections, or the oropharynx or the nasopharynx you are going to transmit the infection. And if whenever you are with a close contact with the infected person also, you are going to occur the same infection. Okay, so important infection in the military personnel, so the person who are having often, already I said, lack of immunity levels. Okay, so even the person is recovered from the infection also, and if he is not maintaining a proper hygienic requirements, or if he is not maintaining, and the rechance occurrence of the same pathogen within 2 months or more months, and it is going to be attacks. Okay, and next one. Okay, symptoms. Okay, so symptoms you may see that, and whatever the infection for the cold is, and in early stages, and you may not see the signs and symptoms of the mycoplasm, but later, and you can observe that like cold and flu symptoms may persist, and it is going to be step up into the cold and fatigue in the later months you can see. Okay, and so typical symptoms includes an headache, fever, and sore throat, fatigue, lethargy. So lethargy means like weakness, and a dry cough you are going to observe, and bronchitis, inflammation of the bronchioles, and wheezing sound. Okay, whenever you are breathing, and some how the when the cat is sleeping, and how the sounds will come, right, so it will be like that. And pneumonia and ear infections you are going to see, and sinusitis. Okay, so inflammation of the sinus. Okay, sinus places. Okay, so how we are going to diagnose these kind of mycoplasm infections? Okay, so by chest x-ray we can easily identify the bronchitis infections, or the blood test you can easily detect out, and some medical examination also you can make it. Okay, and it does not test for the bacteria itself, and they are going to differentiate the antibodies like, so immunoglobulin M and immunoglobulin G. Okay, and it will remains positive for years, and whenever the infection is exposure to the process. Okay, and whenever if the person, the newborn is having a disease condition especially, and the genitally the newborns are going to get the infection in the genital mycoplasm species. Okay, the genital area, there the infection is going to be starts, and or it may be in the upper respiratory tract the infection is going to be transmitted. Okay, so from the during the birth process of the baby, okay, during the delivery process, and from the mother to baby, and this type of infection is going to be detect out, and they are going to do the colonization. So colonization means what? And they are making a implantation, means for example, and the colonization, the affected microorganism also, whenever we are doing a colonization, and it will not harm and it will not show signs and symptoms in the other person. So that is called as what? Colonization. Okay, so colony. Okay, so what they are doing means, and they are shifting from one area, means affected area, to unaffected area passage they are doing. Okay, and so next is the spread of urea plasma infection. Okay, so major infection which was produced by the urea plasma infection is a mycoplasm, so hominis and the mycoplasm and urolactylum. Okay, so this mycoplasm urolactylum, so is mostly causing the urogenital tract sexual mature human, means sexual transmission infection they are transmitting, or so for during the pregnancy period or the during the delivery process, and this spread of infection is going to be transmitted. Okay, and by this urea plasma species, and it may cause a urethritis. Okay, so inflammation of the urethra, and pyelonephritis, inflammation of the so kidneys, and pelvic inflammatory diseases, and endometritis, and the chorioamniotis. So endometritis means inflammation of the endometrium layer, or chorionic amniotic fluid infection, and so inflammation of the bones, and surgical wound infections you can see, and neonatal pneumonia also you can see, and neonatal meningitis, so inflammation of the meninges layer. And you can see that, and if the person so affected with the mycoplasm in a HIV patients, and it is a prolonged infection, and it is not having a so cause more severe infections in these kind of patients, and in the subsiding rates we can be so reduced to see this type of infections in HIV. Okay, so what are the diagnoses we can make in this mycoplasm means, and the first one is a cold agglutination test. So what they are doing means, and so microglobulin antibodies. Okay, so that is IgG and IgM antibodies, and in the RBCs at low temperature they are going to so detect out. So what is the procedure they are performing means, so first here you see that the serum dilution of the patient. Okay, so what they are doing, so either horse serum or the human serum they are collecting, so how much, and collecting and mixed with the equal volume of 2% of the washed human blood group of erythrocytes at low temperature they are adding. Okay, so after that they are clumping. Okay, so clumping means what? Just they are so moving, shaking out. Okay, so clumping is observed over 40 degrees centigrade over the night you can see. And so these clumping means what is like, for example, so when the glass breaks, right, so how the breaks will, so in that way it looks like. Okay, and you see that a titer of 1:32 is suggestive, and a raised titer is paired serum of sample is suggested for the infection. So what they are showing, what they are saying that, and if these this is a titer. Okay, so in this titer, and if they are observing that the paired serums or equally is in the form of clumping formation overnight and excess, and they can observe that there is an infection of the process. So that is called as cold agglutination test. Agglutination means what? See here, yes, so it's going to be forms a breaking RBCs. Okay, so here it looks like. Okay, so here RBC showing non-agglutinating and the agglutinating RBCs. Okay, so agglutinating RBCs, agglutination, or these are non-agglutinating RBCs. Okay, so means RBCs will be together and forming a normal structure, and here the agglutination means they are breaking down of the RBC structure is going to be forms. And next second one is a streptococcal Mg test. Okay, and this is Mitter's group. Okay, so Mitter's group nothing else but the mixing serum dilution of the patient. Okay, so mixing serum means, and they are first they will take the sample, and they will be so heat and kill the samples, and they will be shifting So from one test tube to other, and 0.5 to adding this one, and here to here, like some same like ELISA test only it will be there. And after that, and they will be incubating the 37 degrees centigrade, and you may observe that agglutination titer. Okay, the breaking down of RBC cells you can observe. So if you have seen this Mg test antibodies, and we can give the penicillin, ampicillin, and cefotaxime, erythromycin, clindamycin, chloramphenicol, and the tetracycline. So you have to give this type of antibiotics, you have to prefer. Okay, and what is the growth of bacteriological medium? So already I explained that, and how it looks like a fried egg like an opaque granule area you can see. Okay, so the secretions of respiratory secretions, they are going to inoculated in the medium, and 1 to 3 weeks it will takes to growth of the bacterium, and the colony's appearance like so here appearance like granule like formation. Okay, and so here so like and you may see the pneumonia. Okay, agar medium, so it looks like this. And next one is a egg shape. So I already explained that egg appearance, right? So this is a picture, and you can see atypical in enriched medium. So we discussed, but slightly they have given the picturization of the structure only this. Okay, and the colonies of mycoplasm isolates. Okay, so whenever you are isolating the structure, so here differentiated, see here. Okay, surface of the colon fried egg appearance it looks like. Okay, so what is going to be there? So we are going to add here agar surface we are going to add, and this here is a microorganism, and section is going to be coloned. So coloned means what? And where uninfected colonization, uninfected area, it is going to be shifted. Okay, separation of the surface of the colon. So next we see that biochemical characteristics of the myoplasm. Biochemical means what? So what is the metabolism rates? You can see the negative and positive rates. Okay, so here the metabolism of mycoplasma are fermentative. So fermentative means they are so making the so these mycoplasm for some days. Okay, so most species utilize a glucose and a argonic, so they are going to add some of the glucose to the area, and some will absorb and some will not be absorbed. So urea is hydrolyzed on the urea plasma only, and it is going to be so differentiated, and it is going to be diluted. Okay, so when it is dilutes, and it gives a negative and positive shapes. Okay, and it is see here and where, so you can see that in the fermentation process, and the growth of the microorganisms is going to be distributed like this. Okay, so previously you have seen that only dilution you have seen, and after that so it is going to be so hydrolyzed of urea energy is going to be transmitted into different structures. So growth you can see of the microorganisms. And treatment, so what is the treatment you have given here means, so child care you have to take properly whenever you are going, and no vaccine is available at present. Okay, only certain antibiotics only we can give, already we discussed. And so there is no medical evidence of antibiotic treatment effective. So but only effective antibiotics, they can treat some of the symptoms of this mycoplasm bacteria. Okay, so drugs, what are the mycoplasm infection we can give is erythromycin. So for mycoplasm pneumonia and the uroplasma we can give this erythromycin, tetracyclines, and for mycoplasma hominis infection you can give the clindamycin, levofloxacin, doxycycline, and the gentamicin. Okay, and so what is the prevention means, so if the person and who are having a respiratory tract infection, and they have to cover their mouth and the nose, and whenever they are coughing and sneezing. Okay, so use tissues or the disposables or wipings, and whenever they are coughing, and soon after that hand washing properly is very very important, and followed by the procedure. Okay, so this is a prevention so regarding of mycoplasm. Okay, so thank you, and this is about bacteria, and this is the last topic of the bacteria. So the next topic, and I will be dealing with the virus topic only. Okay, so this is the last topic, and the mycoplasm is the last topic, and from tomorrow's class, and I will be starting with the virus. Okay, thank you.